So something is happening right now that is highly concerning. And it is that experts say the American people are about to pay. 99% of people don't realize what is coming and what is happening right now. That's where I want to explain what's going on, how something that is going to happen tomorrow on December 27th, that is a Wednesday, what happens tomorrow could be major. So I'm going to address what's going on. We're just one day away. So make sure you watch this entire video. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So first off, what is happening tomorrow? Well, this is actually very big news. I want to just show you this. Tomorrow, we have the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and the White House Homeland Security Advisor Liz Sherwood Randall are all going to meet with the Mexican president tomorrow. That's the big news. Now, what 99% of people don't realize what is coming and what is happening right now? Well, we have a border crisis, and this is bigger than what most people even expected. The U.S.-Mexico border crisis is escalating as 1,000-strong migrant caravan approaches. They're calling this the Christmas caravan. There's over 6,000 migrants traveling up through Mexico trying to hit the U.S.-Mexico border tomorrow. This is concerning because over the past couple of months, we have seen days where we are topping 6,000, 8,000, even 10,000 people per day are hitting the U.S. border and getting through. This is record numbers. And the reason why this is so concerning is because now we're hearing that what is coming for the American people may be less than what we are currently getting. Think about this, for example. Let's say you get SNAP benefits. Well, guess what? That is not an unlimited fund. If the United States does not have the resources to pay out billions and billions of dollars every single year, they will reduce benefits. So if you are getting SNAP benefits, you could see a reduction. What about housing credits? Well, yes, those could go away. What about tax credits? Those could go away as well. There's a lot of things right now that are in question. This is why experts are saying that the majority of Americans have no clue what is coming. But I want to explain what is currently being considered. Look at this. It says last week the U.S. officials want Mexico to do more to block migrants at its southern border with Guatemala, or make it more difficult to move across Mexico by train or in trucks or buses, a policy known as contention. Now, the Mexican president, he addressed this just the other day, and he said that there's going to be more than just contention that they're considering. Look at this. It says, but the president said that in exchange, he wants the United States to send more development aid to migrants' home countries and to reduce or eliminate sanctions against Cuba and Venezuela, noting that is what we are going to discuss. It is not just contention. So, what the Mexican president is asking for is aid to Mexico, aid to Venezuela, Cuba, Guatemala, like all these other countries, not just to Mexico. And this is something that I addressed before, and here's the problem. The United States doesn't have any issue sending funding to another country. We've done this with Ukraine. We've done this with Mexico for years. We do this with so many other countries. The concern, though, is what happened during the summer. Right now, experts are saying that the American people are the ones that will ultimately pay this price because we won't see taxes increase. We will still have a divided government, in the near future. So we will likely see benefits get reduced, just like I was addressing with SNAP benefits. But they say it's the vital programs that are in jeopardy. They say all this is because of when President Biden and former Speaker Kevin McCarthy agreed over the summer to put a spending cap on the U.S. federal budget. They wanted to make sure we reduce our national deficit. That was agreed upon by both parties. Here's the problem. What we are about to see is an increase in funding requests because of what is going on down at the border. if this happens, according to multiple governors, they say we will see police budgets get cut, libraries and parks are going to lose their funding, schools will get budget cuts as well, and so much more. It will not stop with in law enforcement, with public transportation, schools, libraries, or parks. It's going to hit every single person. And this is what 99% of people don't realize, is it doesn't matter what you do. If you, let's say you take the bus to work, public transportation, we could see public transportation get reduced. That either means less buses, that means less routes, that means they close early, so you may not get a bus to get you home. You may have to walk. Yeah, that's a problem. But also, if there's less buses and people have to go and buy vehicles, guess what? There's more cars on the road. There's more wear and tear to the streets, to the highways, to bridges. This is going to happen. This is going to impact every single one of us. Now, I want to show you a few different websites. Show you some of these headlines. Look at this one. It says New York City caught flat-footed as Biden's border crisis brings 150,000 migrants to its streets. Yeah, New York City was not prepared, but they're not the only ones. Illinois state government provides hundreds of migrants with hotel housing in Chicago. State made approximately 230 hotel rooms available over the weekend. That was just from a couple days ago. Yeah, governors are concerned because guess what's coming up? It's an election year. This is the big problem, is if all this stuff happened last year, which it kind of did, but we just swept it under the rug, kicked the can down the road and thought, you know what, we'll deal with this in the future. Well, the future's here. Guess what? It's time to kick that can down the road again. That's exactly what lawmakers are planning on doing. They do not want to address the border crisis because if they address the border crisis right now, this will impact whether or not they get voted for or against. This is why so many are opting to just kick the can down the road again and hope the American people forget about it. But guess what? Not going to happen. Look at this story. A ritzy Colorado ski resort, Carbondale, warns it is buckling under the influx of Venezuelan migrants who are sleeping 5 to a car after word got around that town had lots of jobs available. This is an expensive ski town. Okay, it's very close to Aspen. Now, this what's interesting about this is, and why the reason I say interesting is because this is happening all over the place. That word gets around that there's jobs in this city. Guess what? All those migrants go to that city. Here's the problem. How are you going to work? Do you think just everybody's going to give you a job? No, that's not the way it works. And then here's the other issue. You want to go to a very expensive city, let's say New York, for example, right? Or let's say people here in Washington State try to go to Seattle. Guess what? It's expensive. There's not a lot of assistance. There's not a lot of shelter. Here's the other problem. You want food? It's expensive. Do not go to these expensive cities because the jobs that they say they're there, right? But then you get there and realize there's not that many jobs and it's expensive to live there. It just makes no sense. Look at this one. Look at this story. Texas begins flying migrants to sanctuary cities with first flight to Chicago. The reason why Texas has to fly immigrants to Chicago is because there's a new city ordinance that you cannot bus people in. Well, guess what buses are doing now? They are not stopping in Chicago. They're taking people, throughout Illinois and saying, all right, here you are. Here's Chicago, dropping you off, and then they're leaving. But they're leaving you in a city close by that doesn't have that city ordinance, that doesn't have that law saying that they cannot be dropped off. Chicago does. So it's interesting. Now I want to show you this as well. This right here is a sanctuary map. Okay, these are all sanctuary cities. In yellow, these are the counties. In red, these are the cities. And in green, these are states like Washington, Oregon, California, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Illinois, New York. Okay, all these are sanctuary states. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in on some of these. We'll go look at Washington State, for example. Okay, look at this. Look how many counties there are. These are sanctuary counties. Okay, Washington is a sanctuary state. We got Seattle right here. Okay, these are sanctuary cities. This is just in Washington. Then you got Oregon down here, Oregon. Okay, or Portland right here, sanctuary county, right? This is happening all over the place. This is just the United States as a whole. Look at this over here. Look over here in New York. Yeah, that is a big, big difference. Now, here's something else you need to know. What we keep hearing is that the American people are going to pay. And the reason why experts believe that the American people are going to pay is because your benefits are going to be reduced. You're going to see taxes, maybe not on a federal level, and just keep this in mind, because according to multiple reports, the taxes that counties charge you and that cities you have to pay, these could go up, because there has not been a promise from many governors and city mayors saying that taxes are not going to go up. Maybe your property taxes go up, and the reason why they're going to go up is because there has to be a new shelter built, because you cannot house 10,000 illegal immigrants in a hotel room. So now they're going to try to build additional shelters. Guess what? Somebody has to pay for that. That money comes from somewhere. That is likely taxes. So this is why experts believe that the American people are going to pay, because they believe that right now there is not going to be any resolution to this migrant crisis. Thousands and thousands of people are going to keep coming into the United States, keep hitting our borders until President Biden just opens them up. The problem there is he can't do it. He does not have the power to open them up. He also, as of right now, is trying to find more power that he does not have to go to Congress to get something done. This is why some believe there's so many issues right now, because if we do end up in a state of emergency, which we could, President Biden would get a little bit more power, and then could he decide to either close down the border or open them up? Well, we don't know. All I can tell you is we will find out. I will be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I ask is two things. First, hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed today's update. Also, the second thing, click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. And I will see you guys on the next one.